decade, new era for the Philippines in football as the Azkals move forward without Phil Younghusband. The longtime captain and face of the national men's football team announced his retirement last year. This comes as the Azkals prepare for the resumption for the joint qualifiers for the 2022 FIFA World Cup and the 2023 Asian Cup. And joining me right now to talk about what lies ahead for the Azkals this year is none other than Sportsdesk football analyst, one and only Cedelf Tupas. Hi, Ced. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, my friend.
Hi, hello, my friend. Nice watch. Okay, let's talk about the Azkals in 2019. Said, how was the year? If you assess the Philippine Azkals in 2019, let's talk about it. How would you assess that year?
Well, it was a mixed year. There were some good achievements, like the first ever Asian Cup appearance in Dubai last year, early last year. We did not come away with a win, but I think that was a major step for the Azkals, just experiencing the competition itself. And then moving on to the FIFA World Cup qualifiers, AFC Asian Cup qualifiers, mixed results, 2 losses against Syria, but the big draw against China, I thought that showed everyone that the team can compete with a powerhouse Asian country. And you know, picking up results in Maldives, in Guam. So I think you know, the Azkals were able. There wasn't really a spectacular result.
Yeah.
But you felt that we're taking, you know, small steps,
heading to the right direction.
Yeah, but very significant steps as well. I think the team right now is they need some infusion of younger talent. So we have players who are now in their 30s, so like the guys like Stefan Schrock, Alvaro Silva. You know, Carly Dumurga, they're all heading into the twilight of their career. So we're hoping that, you know, some fresh talent comes in, and we saw that in the SEA Games with the young Azkals, reinforced by Amani Aguinaldo and Stefan Schrock. So there's plenty to be excited about with the current team that we have.
Ano yung mga tournaments, Cedelf, on tap for the Azkals in 2020? And what can we expect from the Azkals in these events?
Well, March, we still have the World Cup qualifiers in March.
That's right.
We'll have a home game against Guam. I think that will be at Rizal Memorial Stadium. And then 2 games in June, Maldives at home, and then China away. We're now at 3rd spot in our group, behind Syria and China. So there's a good chance that if we do, you know, sweep these remaining matches, it's just a very tough task, especially with China playing them in their home ground. There's a good chance that we might be able to finish as the 2nd place team in the group, because Syria seems to have wrapped up the top spot with 15 points now. So after that, late this year, we'll have the Suzuki Cup again, the FF Suzuki Cup again. Again, a tournament that we have yet to win. We made the semifinals in 2018, but this time I think they have to really set a target of winning the tournament. Now, I think it's about time that the Azkals. We've said this, you know, for several years already, but I think we need that significant achievement to really push the sport forward here in the country.
Invigorate also the love for football. Malaking bagay yun if we win that, imagine that. No more Phil Younghusband. He did retire. So you did mention the young guns that played in the SEA Games alongside Amani Aguinaldo and Stefan Schrock. Who should we look out for? Who's those faces, the young faces that can fill in those shoes? That I know it's a huge task to fill, but you know, no more Phil Younghusband. Who should take that?
Well, right now, currently the captain is Stefan Schrock, and we know that, you know, how important Stefan Schrock is to this team. He's the leader. He's the voice of the team right now. But there are some good talents coming up. The likes of Justin Baas. We saw him in the SEA Games, playing in midfield, playing in defense, and in scoring that beautiful goal against Myanmar. And you know, the way he reacted, you know, I thought he got a lot of flack when after the game against Malaysia. There was a lot of controversy the way he high-fived all those players from Malaysia. But you saw the passion of the kid. You saw the enthusiasm of playing in front of the home crowd, playing for the Philippines. And he's only 19, and he plays at a very good level in the Netherlands. He plays for AZ Alkmaar, their 2nd team, and that plays in the 2nd division. And you know, he has experience playing against right now some of the best players in the world. You know, Matthias de Ligt, who played for Ajax, mga kabatch niya to. So I think there's a bright future ahead with Justin Baas in that team. And you know, for the Azkals, it's about time that they also settle some of the requirements of the prospects that they've had over the last 2 years. Michael Kempter should be available. Jesse Curran trained with the under-22 team before the SEA Games, 2 months before the SEA Games, and you know, easily he's the best player there. So I think he's now linked up with Muang Thong United in Thailand. But and should he get his passport processed, he will be a star for this Azkals team.
How about the women's national football team? What can we expect from them this year?
Well, it's a big year also for the women's football team. The Philippines will be hosting the 2020 AFF Women's Championship. That is the first time that the Philippines will be hosting it. And I thought the reason why we're hosting it is because this women's team that we have is really developing and improving very well over the last few years. Some of the standouts of the youth teams have now moved on to the women's national team. In the SEA Games, they played at home, and we saw them bring a lot of fight to representing the country. They won against Malaysia. And you know, they held Vietnam for scoreless for almost an hour before they conceded late in the second half, and then taking the lead against Myanmar before losing in the battle for the bronze. But there are a lot of exciting talents there. You know, Sara Castañeda plays for La Salle in the UAAP, but easily she could be one of the best 11 players in the region. Ina Palacios as well is a standout goalkeeper. So, you know, there's a lot of exciting prospects. You cannot just ignore this women's national team because they are going to make some noise this year. A 4th place finish last year, and you know, hosting the tournament here, it could give them that extra push to make the final for this tournament.
Where does club level football in the Philippines stand entering 2020?
Well, it's a critical year again for club football in the Philippines. The sponsorship of Qatar Airways is really a huge boost, but I think, you know, the PFL has to do its job in, you know, marketing and promoting the league, and making sure that it gets back on TV again, because I think that was one of the reasons, you know, not being able to be seen live on TV. I think it was crucial to, you know, the dip in the popularity of the league, and you know, making it accessible, venues accessible. I think Rizal will be available again for use for the PFL, so that will mean more matches closer to the people. So a big year for the PFL, and if they are able to, you know, attract more support using this Qatar Airways, you know, being trusted by a global brand like Qatar Airways, and, you know, marketing it as, you know, if a global brand trusts us, how much more if a local local brands come in and support them. So I think that is a key right there.
Sana.
I think they're worth supporting, definitely. Because, you know, football may not be as big as basketball or or volleyball here, but there is a following. There's a certain there are certain sections in the public that you know, keep an eye on the league, and you see that you know, when there are matches, how animated people are on social media, on Facebook. There's a huge Facebook group that features updates on the league and people involved in Philippine football. So there is a following. There's a crowd there that really follows football. So I think if sponsors can see that and tap into that crowd, there will be more sponsors, more fans, and I think also the fan experience has to improve in the stadium. You know, making it, you know, a worthwhile activity, not just how Filipinos are. They want that total entertainment package for their families, for friends. So I think that's a challenge for the PFL heading into next season in expanding the league.
Ceres Negros will compete in the AFC Champions League starting next week. Okay, what can we expect from the Busmen? This is a loaded squad. This is a very good squad. What can we expect from them in the tournament?
Wow. Again, it is going to be a long journey ahead for them if they want to go up until the group stage. Shan United, not an easy opponent, but they've beaten them twice already.
Yeah.
Totally different, slightly different team for Ceres this year. I think they have more depth in attack, but in defense, they just recently said goodbye to Carly Dimurga, who's moved on to Thailand. Josh Groman has come in to probably fill in that slot. Dennis Villanueva is back from injury, but it's a tough challenge. If you beat Shan United, you go to Thailand to face Port FC, where Martin Stoible, their former captain, is now playing. So it's going to be a nice reunion for them. But Port FC is probably, right now, more than any Thai team, has built up their squad. So, and they started their preparations as early as December. Ceres only started their preparations 2-3 days ago. After that, if they survive Port, they go to Japan. So that is a long road ahead for them. Probably they might want to look at the AFC Cup again to push their bid there. But this is a tournament that is close to their heart, especially because this is the tournament where their biggest win happened in Brisbane Roar a couple of years ago in Australia. So if you're Ceres, you just want to take it one game at a time, as Mark Hartman said, but also feel confident that maybe you can move forward with every game.
All right. Well, what will it take for Ceres Negros to succeed in this tournament? Because you said it will take a lot. It won't be an easy task. Ano yung kailangan nilang gawin for them to, go places in this AFC Champions League?
Well, they have characters there and players who have a lot of quality and experience in this tournament. So I think that's not going to be a problem. Experience not going to be a problem. Familiarity with the opponent will be a concern. I think should they survive Shan in next week, they should study Port FC. Maybe Stefan Schwab can make a call to Martin Stoible for some advice. His best friend is on the other team. And, not get overwhelmed. I think not get overwhelmed by the opposition. I think that's one key for Ceres is that they have that winning mentality, winning mindset. Stefan Schwab hates the idea of losing. So, when your leader,
I love that guy.
When your leader is like that, things like that, you can go places, even though the odds are stacked against you. So, I think they should have that same mentality and fight for 90 minutes. You can't really do much against these big teams in Asia, but just ride your luck sometimes and also show your quality, and Bienvi Marañon and Stefan Schwab are there to provide some creativity and goals for them.
Philippine football, then yung local football league, and then Ceres Negros. Okay, pag-usapan natin. Alam naman natin yung 2000s. Yun yung, kumbaga, yung Cristiano Ronaldo versus Lionel Messi. Di ba? It's either, if you're a kid growing up, either you have that Messi jersey or that Ronaldo jersey. In 9 of the 10 years, silang dalawa yung nag-Ballon d'Or. Where do you see them now in the new decade? Especially, Cristiano Ronaldo is 34 years old. Lionel Messi is 32 years old.
Wow. They've been there at the top for so long that you feel that they're going to be there forever. And the debate will not end on who's the better player. But I think these players, they've taken care of their bodies very well. I see 3-4 years of Messi's brilliance, probably.
And Messi, okay.
And Ronaldo's still there up until probably he's going to be 37, 38, because look at...
He doesn't look like it, though.
Yeah, and
he doesn't play like it either.
He's in fantastic shape. You saw the... I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago, there was this viral photo where he went up for a header against Napoli, where he was just towering over the defender. But I think these guys, they've cemented their legacies. it's actually an understatement. For Messi, there's still the World Cup to be won. Ronaldo has achieved a lot also for his country, but this has been the thorn on their backs. You know, the not being able to win something big for their country. So the World Cup 2022 is going to be a big critical year for them. If that will probably be their last World Cup. I thought that was the last World Cup of Messi, but he came back. So hopefully,
unfinished business.
Hopefully they get the job done, and there's going to be a lot of challenges ahead of them. But at club level, they're still going to be on top for the next 2 to 3, 4 years probably.
Who are the top 3 players in your mind, possibly emerging stars, and stars football, the new football, kumbaga, players that we should
next generation.
Next generation na. Oo.
The thing with football is that there's this upper tier, and then there's their second tier talents. So you find Messi on top and Ronaldo on top.
Ibang tier yan.
And Virgil van Dijk of Liverpool and the Netherlands joined them right there. He's a finalist, the Ballon d'Or. So I think Kylian Mbappe showed in the World Cup last year that, 2 years ago, that he is capable of taking up that mantle as one of the best in the world.
He's very young.
He's very young. He's only 19, I think, 19 or 20. So Kylian Mbappe for France and PSG should be a star to watch in the next 2 to 3 years when he peaks in his career. Frenkie de Jong of Barcelona, of the Netherlands as well. I think the Netherlands always produces these fine young talents. And I think this is going to be a nice generation again for them after missing out on the World Cup. Moving from Ajax to Barcelona, he settled in quite nicely, Frenkie de Jong. And for England fans, of course, they want to hear something like this because Raheem Sterling plays for Man City, and he's also a fine talent. He's been there for a while now. When you compare him to other players his age, he's in his mid-20s, early 20s rather, he's already very experienced, and he's going to be the leader of this England squad for the years to come, together with Harry Kane.
Oh, well, I was a little bit shocked. I like your list. Pero walang mga Neymar, walang mga ganun binanggit.
Neymar's a bit...
Okay, no, I'm not
I don't know what's going on with Neymar.
I'm not questioning your list, my friend. Let's go to teams. Tapos na tayo sa players. So, top 3 teams na dapat abangan ng football fans sa 2020.
Well, Liverpool's coming up with a big... they're going to win the English Premier League this year, and they are going to contend heavily, defending that UEFA Champions League title. They have a very young and talented core led by Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk. Sadio Mane is there, Roberto Firmino. But these players, led by Jurgen Klopp, of course, these players, they've been together for a while, and the way they've developed, it seems like they're growing together. So you see that every game, they're building their character as well. And Liverpool has a proud history. So, it's easily, they are, when you have the history and the pressure with that history, and you're producing results right now at an astonishing rate, really, there's just trophies are coming to Merseyside. And, of course, Barcelona is still there. Juventus is going to be a force in the Champions League. I think Real Madrid is a bit of a patchy spell for them, but it is still one of the biggest clubs in the world, so you expect them to bounce back. So the thing with the club football is that when you have the resources, that's really the key there. When we're able to get players and develop young talent as well, that is the key for success. But Leicester City did the unthinkable a few years ago when they won the Premier League. That was 1 in a million. That is a rare feat. So I don't expect anything like that coming in the next few years, especially with all the resources and all the talent being produced by the big clubs in Europe right now.
Well, thank you again, my friend, for being here. Always great picking your brains, especially when it comes to football. Again, we just had Sportsdesk football analyst, one and only, Mr. Cedelf Tupas.